You can see people setting from like 3 moves away. So the second you like have reviewed their you're like, okay, I know what he's going for. So I'll just,
My coach did ask me, he's like, did you see who's in your bracket? I was like, no, it's going to make me too nervous.
You should.
I don't want to look at a guy. I'm like, dude, that guy looks scary.
Welcome back to an amazing episode of Careful Boys, where we're going to clap one more time for Jared Feather.
At least 3 more times.
At least 2 to 4 more times.
2 to 4.
Anywhere in that range.
Guess what Bart's getting ready for?
What?
He's getting ready for a competition as well.
Uh-oh. I originally didn't want to talk about it, but then Anthony forced it out of me because he's such a f***ing great.
Why don't you want to talk about it?
Why didn't you want to talk about it?
I did make him talk about his 225 bench.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
He shared.
why didn't you want to talk
No, honestly, I didn't want to talk about it, and I like. The main reason is, I don't know if you experienced this, but it's weird when you have a following and then you compete, because the weirdest people come out of the woodworks. So, for example, in my entire powerlifting career, it'll be like, and Barbell Brigade, we used to make like journey type series.
Yeah.
I'll promote, I'm gonna do this competition or whatever.
And you should.
And then I go do it, and there's like 12 extra people that wouldn't have done it. They're like, I'm here just to beat you. And then I'm like, wait, but you're like 230. He goes, yeah, I cut 50 pounds just so I can beat you because I'm your biggest fan. So you have like all kinds of extra pressure and stuff. And I've experienced that throughout probably the first half of my powerlifting career. Then you get to a place where you have to qualify, and then this leads to that, and then so it becomes more standardized. But it becomes like a unfair level of competition, because you want to compete at the local level to get local experience, and then nationals to get nationals and world.
Now you got
worlds.
pros wanting to fuck you up.
But then you go to the local level, and then local feels like nationals. National now feels like worlds, and the worlds feels like the Olympics because of people that are the biggest fan and they want to come and destroy you.
That's fine.
So
Come get the smoke, bro.
So originally with talking about it, I didn't want to announce it because I was like, you know what? I just want to compete like a regular person. I don't want to go there and there's fucking 12 other people like, oh, you want to compete? I want to fuck you up because I'm your biggest fan.
Damn.
But then I was like, you know what? Like my whole ethos about doing jits is I want to get into self-defense.
Exactly.
So I'm like, so when the fuck am I gonna be at a supermarket and be like, oh, dude, you're not my weight class, bro. We ain't scrapping. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's do the video. All the smoke can come, and then we'll see what happens.
And the odds of you, because you're in public, limelight, the odds of that type of interaction coming from somebody who's like seen your shit that doesn't like you is probably higher anyway.
So they should sign up.
Like a scrap happening is probably going to happen like a fan event. Or some random hobo shit.
And you could have a no-show again and win another medal.
No, but this time I filled out this blank where, because I really want to compete, where I'm down to move up and down weight classes and everything. So I'll get a match no matter what. I'm like, so I signed up for whatever, and then there's a pretty much like a box that goes like, fuck it, scrap with anybody, and I was like, I'll click it, fuck it.
Also, you're like one of the co-creators of like JK News, so you could like upload this video right after a competition.
That's out of my jurisdiction. I don't know what comes out.
I don't do that.
Like Steve, I don't know what goes on. Uploads, I don't know.
You're basically being stream sniped. Have you heard that term?
No.
Stream sniped is a term for what's happening to you.
Yeah.
It's what happens to pro gamers.
Yeah.
Because they're so famous when they're streaming.
Yeah.
Other gamers see that they're on like Call of Duty or something when they're on Twitch, and so they can see where they are on the map, and they go to the game and they kill them in the game so that they look like they're better than them on the game. Yeah.
Damn.
But they won't play until they see that they're in the game.
Yeah.
It's like that.
Because the other scary part would be like they can scout your shit, you know?
Yeah.
So in powerlifting, it's I post way more.
Yeah.
So they can be like, oh, okay, cool. On week 4 of this fucking mesocycle, he's hitting these numbers.
So that bothered you in powerlifting?
No, it was just I don't have the same experience that everyone else does.
Yeah.
It doesn't really bother me, because I still continue to do it the last 10 years.
Yeah, and also numbers are numbers, man. You know what I mean? It's powerlifting. It's like bodybuilding. Physique's a physique. Yeah. If somebody wants to show up and beat my ass, I don't care. Like I don't have the best physique in the world. I know that. I'm gonna show up and do my best. Is it become more so because like you didn't want it to be like fan stuff?
No, I just
Because you're there to compete. But
I just wanted the normal experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if I go out, like let's say my friend at my gym, hey, I did a jiu-jitsu competition. Oh, cool. How many people in your bracket? Oh, there's like 4 to 6.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, how many were yours? Oh, 25. And then so you have to like fight twice as many people to see where you're at.
But you don't feel like
that's
you
great.
like sound like the
That's good, though.
famous guy wants normal life stuff.
Okay, Michael Jackson.
I just think it sounds like this. I think it sounds like you did powerlifting to see how good you were at powerlifting and to see how far you could go.
Yeah.
And then you got to a point where you were really good and you wanted to compete against the best in the world anyway.
Yeah.
So now you're competing against the best in a local level. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. That's why I was like, I don't give a fuck. Let's just do this video. And then if people end up looking it up, fuck it.
So
They can come get it. They can
that's a
come get-
long-winded way of saying.
Come get
Thank
the
you,
smoke.
Anthony. You grapist. But yeah, so I've been training pretty hard. I signed up for jiu-jitsu last year this time of year, like February, and I told myself after a year I was gonna sign up for my first comp.
It's been a year already? That's tight.
It's been a year, so I'm like, okay,
Let's
cool.
What weight class are you in?
189 is the weight cap, so it could be anywhere between 180 to 189. So I signed up for it. I'm gonna do both gi and no gi.
Okay.
And it's cute because I'm doing it with Taika. So Taika does the
that's
first day
cool.
is kids and teens the first day, adults the second day, and yeah, it's at first I was actually really nervous, the beginning, because I'm like, oh fuck, you know, you always get nerves. Am I gonna get fucked up or what's the outcome? And then I realized it's like if you just put in the work and you be unemotional about it, you're just beta testing yourself, right? So you're like, I put in this much work. What's the outcome? Next time I increase the volume or decrease the volume or whatever. So then I became really chill. So now I'm not really like nervous about
Yeah,
it.
because it's not the kumite for you. See, that's the difference.
You stop getting nerves in martial arts after like year 3. It doesn't happen. Like do you get nerves?
Yeah.
You
Oh,
do.
still.
Because that's the kumite for him.
Well, it's not even that. It's just like because it's not about the other guy. It's more about like, am I gonna
Perform at your best.
perform at my best? Like that's what you're kind of thinking of, and then you're also thinking about like whenever the last time I competed, I just remember understanding that like, yeah, I'm gonna feel a little nervous, but so's the other guy.
Yeah.
And all I have to do is just kind of like focus on my breathing, go out and just complete the game plan. That's it. And as soon as I thought about it that way, it took all the emotions out. Because I would always think like, what happens if I lose? Like, oh god, like like that kind of shit. But as soon as you eliminate that, and it took me a little bit to learn how to do, and once I did, I felt like I had more favorable performances.
Do they keep score?
There's like a point system.
Because then what if you just keep losing and you just have a track record where you lose 50 times?
Your record will look horrendous.
So then stop training. I mean, stop going there. You got to train more.
But there's a lot of guys who just lose all the time. Like you see these guys in tournaments, you're like we have a buddy who competed against. There was this one guy that was always in his bracket, and my buddy used to beat him in the final, like 3 years in a row, at like every belt. And it just happens. Like you just see that guy that's like, fuck, that guy's in my bracket. You're like, god damn it. And it's like, hey, bro, you gotta. You have to figure out the solution. You have to figure out the game plan. You have to figure out what this guy's gonna do and how you're gonna stop it. But some guys don't think that way. And, but you're gonna do fine, dude. This guy's gonna smash everybody.
You just sign up as a woman.
You can do that too.
He still loses.
Not anymore, man. Trump was just inaugurated.
Yeah. Those days are over.
There was a disclaimer, and it did say you can't sign up for what you're not born with.
Really? Yeah. So people actually try to do that?
But for chicks, it did say if you're down to scrap with dudes. So on the chick section, I think sometimes, let's say there's no one in your bracket, age, weight, belt level, whatever, then they'll be like, you did sign up for a match. Are you down to go with some dudes?
That's cool.
And I'm sure there's some chicks out there.
You can punch up.
Yeah, they're like, fuck it, let's do it.
All right.
I don't know about punching up, man. I roll with a lot of girls and they fuck me up. They're good.
I get tapped out by fucking kids right now. It's crazy.
Kids.
So you can punch up. You're punching up.
Straight up, like 12-year-olds, 13-year-olds. Like this generation they'll be like, there's like kids that are like 13, 14 that have already done jiu-jitsu for 8 years.
And they're tapping you out?
Tap me the fuck out. I'm like, get him off my back! Like that. What? Yeah,
And
dude.
they're laughing the whole time.
They're fucking, this next generation. So like,
These kids are freaks, dude.
yeah, these kids are the kids that have been doing it since they're 5. So by the time they're like 13, 14, they're like a black belt in the kid's body. They're just not black belt yet, but they're technically like a professional fighter, And it's evolved to the point where some schools have homeschool classes.
Yeah.
So they'll hold kids jujitsu at 10 a.m., 11 a.m.
That's where all the pros go.
Because there's so many fucking kids that are doing jujitsu at a pro level. They're offering homeschool classes.
Wow.
Where it's not at like 3 or 4 or 5.
Roberto Jimenez.
Yeah.
He was getting like super fights at like 17.
And his parents are black belts too, right? His mom, Roberto?
Jimenez.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's a monster.
Yeah.
So what do you feel like you're doing to train and get ready for this competition?
So my coach wanted me to first train more than 2 days a week. Dude, like that's not enough. You're probably gonna get smashed. So I started doing maybe 3, and now I do like 4 days a week now, and it's definitely way helpful because at a white belt level, it's literally you learn this, and then you forget the last thing you learned, and you learn this other new thing, and you forget the other last thing you learned. So you're constantly just learning and forgetting. But once I started doing 3-4 days, it's really, really helpful. And the other cool thing is I started coaching my jiu-jitsu coach as his strength and conditioning coach. So he became really invested in me, and he can tell that my conditioning sucks ass. So he's like, you really need to work on your conditioning. So as kind of like an investment back in me, he started running with me at 5 a.m. every morning.
That's cool.
Like
man.
he doesn't need it. His conditioning is insane. But he's like, running sucks. No one wants to do it. He goes, I'll run with you before we lift. So I've been working on that. My cardio went from an F to a D. Still sucks, but at least we're doing it.
Let's go, baby.
So,
Are you doing any sprints at all too?
yeah, we do sprints on Wednesdays.
Damn.
Yeah. So my coach makes fun of me. He's like, dude, you're a professional white belt.
Yeah.
I'm trying to take it as seriously as possible, man.
But you wouldn't believe how many white belts that show up to these tournaments, and they're just like they're pros, and you can see it out of all the bracket. You're like, oh, this guy did his homework. The rest of these guys are just like, I'm here to compete my first tournament. Because you get some of those guys too. They're just like, I'm here just to have fun, and you're like, all right. And then they get their arm like snapped, and you're like, oh, God, you gotta be careful, brother. You know, because there's guys out there that are taking it very seriously, and they will fuck your ass up. So
and then
it's
there's
like,
probably
it's-
guys
you're
like
prepping.
Ryan that's never trained. He signs up and he beats everyone's ass.
There's
all of a
also
sudden.
those guys too. The Deems of the world.
Oh yeah. So we did a video for barbell.
I saw that one.
Oh yeah, it was like me and Nadeem signed up for jiu-jitsu competition with no training. We just wanted to see what the outcome was. I didn't have anyone in my bracket.
So you want to church?
Nadeem did, and then he smashed one of those dudes, and I felt bad because he was like, dude, that was a good match. How long you been training for? He goes, I never trained. And I was like, oh.
But didn't he do wrestling? So he knows some.
But to hear that and you trained for it must feel.
He said he learned how to do. He was watching how to do arm bars
Like at night.
the night
on-
before,
on the bed.
and then he pulled one
He did
off on a
pretty
guy,
clean one. Pretty clean one.
which is really fucking hard, dude.
But imagine you're like the guy. It's like probably the people that you smashed in the marathon. There's people that quit the marathon. Ryan, you finished? How long have you trained for? I didn't train actually.
People that were laying on the ground rubbing their legs.
Meanwhile, you're like, this is gonna be the funniest thing ever.
Yeah, it was motivating to walk over their bodies.
Oh my god.
So right now you're running 2.5 miles every day,
Monday through Friday.
Monday through Friday, and then you're working out,
Yeah.
and then you're going to 3 to 4 jiu-jitsu
Throughout the week.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
How many hours a night are you sleeping?
Oh, I try to get like 8.
Oh damn.
Yeah, I try
Man
to get
does.
Yeah. That's not that much training. When I look at my coach's schedule,
That sounds full fucking time.
my coach's schedule is fucking crazy.
Your
He
coach
runs-
is a full-time jiu-jitsu
He runs.
competitor, and
No, he runs, he trains, then he goes to the UFC to do striking, then he has competition jiu-jitsu, then he rolls 2 more other. This will train 6 times a day.
Damn.
How does he have any time for video games?
I don't know. I don't think he knows what those are.
He's too tired all the time.
Must be a gay guy.
So yeah, and it's cool because I know it's a short period of time. That's why I like signing up for things. I mean, that's even what kind of like inspired me to start powerlifting in the first place. Like before barbell, before all that stuff, I just signed up, and I know that by signing up, you made a commitment to yourself, so everything just kind of ramps up. And then after you do it, you get to kind of chill a little bit. But like, I feel like anything that you sign up for, it does like hyper. I mean, I'm sure that even with jiu-jitsu, right? Like,
For sure.
you love jiu-jitsu, you've been doing it for 10 years, whatever, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna do a competition. All of a sudden, your next 2 months are like, boom, stakes are high, ramped up, and then you probably get the best you've ever gotten from those 2 months, and then you go back to being chill or whatever.
like when they release the brackets and you find the names of the people you're going against, it's like a whole nother, like your heart gets fucking.
You start through IG.
Yeah, you get all amped and you're like, oh fuck, and then you got to go train hella hard and stuff. Like you definitely get in that mindset.
You're like, damn, you see how big his biceps are?
You're like, damn, I'll never be. I gotta hit up Jared. I gotta learn how to do these bicep curls. But it is scary though, because the guy that I was gonna compete against last time, I found some tape on it, and for whatever dumb reason,
Why'd you watch it?
I'm not gonna watch it. Which is probably dumb though.
Don't watch it.
And then my coach was like, "No, you watch it." Like,
Or you have
watch
your
your
coach
shit.
watch it.
Yeah, you watch it, and then you watch it too. And then you're like, oh yeah, this is way better. I'm way more prepared for what this guy's gonna do.
Most people have one track.
Exactly.
Like, they're either really good at like ankle locks or like they're good at wrist locks or chokes. Just navigate the system.
And for so long, you get guys who would tell you like, oh, don't. Like our old coaches used to be like, don't watch it, don't worry about it. Like you just go out there and do what you do. But then you have to be. Jiu-Jitsu is very analytical. You have to point out the X's and O's. And as soon as I did that, I was like, what the fuck was I doing before? Like, I should be doing this all the time.
You should have been watching?
Yeah.
Did you see a pattern of what they like to do?
Yeah.
And then you caught them?
We were just ready. We were just prepared. Obviously you won't have that every time you compete, but it's like, it definitely helps for sure.
The amount of guys who are like super versatile on BJJ is pretty low, dude.
Yeah.
So like I said, most guys have a game plan. And they run that fucking game plan on everybody. And if you can figure that shit out, well, now they have to fucking navigate it.
Exactly. And the guys who are like Bart's coach, who are the best guys in the world, he's like a Swiss Army knife. He could do fucking everything. Yeah. But then at our level, it's like guy has a really good takedown, a really good type of guard, and
baseball choke with a gi or something.
Exactly. So it's like once you kind of understand what they consistently do over time, you could figure it out and just problem solve. And as soon as you think about it that way, it's like, okay, this is way easier. This takes the stress and the emotion out. Because like all the emotion that we put into comps is all by ourselves. Yeah. And as soon as you could take that out, then you're like, oh, okay, this is why these guys
in BJJ, you can see people setting shit up from like 3 moves away. So the second you like have reviewed their shit, you're like, okay, I know what he's going for. So I'll just,
My coach did ask me, he's like, did you see who's in your bracket? I was like, no, it's going to make me too nervous.
You should.
I don't want to look at a guy. I'm like, dude, that guy looks scary.
They look at your fucking ass and they're like, this guy's gonna beat me.
That's true. Maybe they're looking at you.
I'm like, oh, this guy's so scary.
But you know what you get away with though? Because you're like, oh, you're such a nice guy, and then you lock up with you, and then everyone's gonna have like a really like rude awakening. He's like, oh, he's a nice guy, because those are the guys that are the scariest. The guys who are like smiley, nice, happy to be there, and then you grapple and compete with them, and you're like, oh, this guy's a monster. That's what Bart feels like.
Bart feels dense.
Yeah, he's dense as shit. Once he locks his hands around you, it's gonna be really hard to get out of. If you don't have the tech for it, you're gonna be stuck for a while.
But then he's very ticklish, so you should use the...
You got no fair. Somebody's out there watching tape of you being tickled. Yeah. He's like, all right, I got it. Got it.
Stupid fans trying to destroy my career. They're like, can I get a picture with you after I killed you? Sure, guys.
That's jiu-jitsu, baby.